Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jerry the Boss here, back with another IPL match. This is okay. So what happened here? This is actually supposed to be for week 4. They're not actually week-long play periods, but uh, it was considered as week 4. I'm doing air quotes in my room here. But I played it in front of my week 3 match. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label these as the order I play them in. So when this goes up, it'll be match 3. So just in case there's any confusion by the people in the IPL Open server or anything like that, that's why this is labeled as match 3. So yeah, this is El Gino. I talked to this person after the match, and they said they were relatively new to the community, so that's cool. They obviously know how to draft some pretty threatening mons, because they had a very scary team. Along with the 6 you see on the screen being Abominable, Vaporeon, Zygarde, Sylveon, Latiace, I think is how you say it, and Shiftry. They also had Colossal and the Blade. Now Colossal is really, I'm really warming up to it. As funny as that is, I'm sure that was y'all got a good kick out of that pun. But it's really bulky. Like, I underestimated its bulk when I first looked at it. You know, like in the past drafts that I've been in where I had the option to pick it, I really just disrespected it and never even thought twice about it. But after having to prep for it 2 or 3 times already just in the IPL, it's very bulky and hard to take down. Like, you can't just sleep on it and be like, oh, well, it's fine, because it's really not. Like, it will sit there and set up. I just dropped my phone on my computer. It will sit there and set up spikes on you and rocks and spin away hazards and then pop you with ancient power and get the boost, or, you know, just something annoying like that. But so I really did kind of expect that to come, is what I was trying to get at. I didn't expect Shiftery or Crabominable, and I expected the Blade and Colossal both to come, as Colossal would be the hazard removal for my opponent, but he did not. Or she, I don't know. My opponent didn't bring it. Anyway, on to my team. So if you don't remember, I have the 6 on the screen: Quillfish, Heatran, Delmize, Sigilyph, Audino, and Diancie. I heard somebody on a stream last night, I think it was Aussie, if you're watching this, you said Sigilyph. I don't know who's right, but I always say Sigilyph, so feel free to go ahead and roast me in the comments, or if I'm saying it wrong, I don't really care. But yeah, so I think I forgot to add the other 2. I have Zydog and what's the other one? Zapdos, that I didn't bring. So I just didn't feel like bringing Zapdos when he had 3 solid electric resist, and then Colossal that can swallow Thunderbolts for days, and then Zydog. I just didn't feel like bringing it. They had Sylveon and Zygarde could pressure it, and Vaporeon takes all hits, just because that's what Vaporeon does, right? So let's get into my team real quick before I start rambling. I brought Quillfish as a Sash lead. Ironically, I didn't lead Quillfish, but you'll see that in a minute. It's rocking Destiny Bond, Toxic, Icy Wind, Taunt. So this set will probably never be ran again, and so that's why I just said it out loud. But also because I forgot, and I don't have any notes this week. I just kind of let it slip my mind. I built in a rush and just kind of didn't think about it. But this is pretty fresh on my mind, so I think I'll be able to handle it okay. Yeah, but anyway, so next we have Heatran. I saw this set from during another IPL match. It was Entei with Weakness Policy and Flame Charge and Sunny Day, so that whenever Water type came in and tried to scald the Fire type, it would pop the weakness policy on a weakened move, and then solar beam the said water type to kill it afterwards. It was a really cool set that I saw, but for some reason, see, this is what I'm talking about. I prepped in too fast. For some reason, I forgot Flame Charge, which was the key to the set working, and I forgot it, so that really just kind of tanked that for me. But we'll see how that goes later. Anyway, Delmines is the next one. I brought a eject button because my plan was to potentially anchor shot the Zygarde somehow and trap it in, and then whenever Zygarde attacks Delmines to get eject buttoned out into Diancie or Sigilyph or whoever I chose to try to KO it. That was its main purpose. Sigilyph I brought for defog with Magic Guard. I originally was going to bring Tinted Lens and Heavy Duty Boots, but I looked at it and Life Orb with Magic Guard was just better, which it will probably always be better, but you know, just in the moment I didn't think of it. But luckily that's one thing that I did think to redo. So that's what that's for. It could outspeed Adamant Zygarde. Next is Diancie. It was here just kind of a general wall, but also it could also set up on some things. I was running Calm Mind just in case, but mono attack, so it's kind of unique, kind of weird, I guess you could say. And then Audino was just going to be I actually was bringing a kind of a different set. It was Screens Audino. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Really, I didn't put the time into prep that I would have liked, but I still think that I brought the best 6 possible, but maybe not the optimal sets, and we all know how that goes. But well, let's watch this battle and let me talk through my plays. I'm about to really start pushing like my channel and my content and my brand. I'm air quoting again as the Harrisburg Hitmonlees. And so it would really mean a lot if you would leave a like. If we could just get to 5 likes, I know that sounds pitiful, but just 5 likes, and that would really be crazy, because I got 6 on my very first video and I haven't got back to 5 since. But if we could just get 5 likes, I would really appreciate it. But anyway, I won't beg or anything like that. Let's get into the battle. So like I said earlier, I was coming into the battle thinking lead Quillfish, right? And you know, looking back on it, it doesn't look terrible. But I was scared because of Shiftery. I imagine Shiftery was only there for defog in my mind. That's what I thought. So I figured that my opponent would lead Shiftery or Latios or something like that. So I led off with Diancie, and Diancie matched up against my opponent's team pretty well. When I saw a Crabominable come in, I checked to see if it had a Steel move, because I thought it did, but I couldn't remember. Because in Gen 7, it felt like everything got Iron Head or Poison Jab or something like that in its move pool. So I figured it did, but I couldn't remember, and I went to look. And I was just scrolling real fast because we're playing with a 90-second timer. So I was really just kind of looking real fast, and I didn't see anything. So I was like, okay. So I calced just the normal Smoke On sets, and it didn't say it had any chance to KO me or anything like that. So I just assumed that I was good to go. And so I stay in Moonblast. It says the music's not playing. Let me check. It's loading. Okay, I'm sorry. My internet's trash. Hopefully that'll load in a second, but I'm really sorry if the background music just stops for the rest of the video. Anyways, so I Moonblast here. That's 41%, that's a good amount. But he Iron Heads, and it does 81%, which is pretty detrimental. You know, I talked about my idea of getting eject buttoned out and then going into Diancie to try to kill the Zygarde, but that doesn't work if my Diancie can't live a hit, you know, so it's kind of devastating. And well, also I imagine that he would click Outrage, so that was kind of the other reason I thought that the eject button would work. But that's for later. I ended up having another move on here that would have been more optimal, being Psyshock, after seeing that it was AV, but I didn't click it, even though I had a feeling just from the calc and seeing how much damage that Crabominable could do with AV that it would be AV, but I didn't act upon it, so I kind of lost out on that. But nonetheless, I decided to switch out to Quillfish here. It is Sash and it is Intimidate. He doubles out into Vaporeon, which is fine with me. I have Taunt. Kind of stops whatever Vaporeon wants to do. And now, okay, so I misplayed in this game a lot, like significantly a lot. And it really did hurt. It really did show. But Elgino had 6-0'd 2 opponents and 5-0'd another before we played, and so I was just trying my best to not have that same fate while also winning, but I was playing too defensive, which, as we learned from my first IPL match, is never what I should do personally. So I Toxic here as they switch out to Latias, and that's nice, but he has two Heal Bellers in the back, so that's kind of suboptimal. What I would have rather done is started Hazard Shacking. Looking back on it, Latias, if it is Defog, is kind of more optimal because that allows my Heatran to set up easier. I have something else besides Vaporeon set up on, being if Latias, or Latias, I can't remember how you say it, but Latias, as you can see here, has Earthquake. I can either set up on a weak Earthquake or a weak Surf. I didn't know at the time. But Shiftery is also just like something I really don't care that much about, as my team as a whole is kind of weak to it looking back on it, but I didn't feel that threatened. I don't feel that threatened by Shiftery. I would much rather Shiftery be there just to defog than Colossal be there with heavy duty boots and rapid spinning and setting up spikes and stealth rocks and then killing a mon in the process, you know? I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else, but that's the way I see it. Anyway, I Destiny Bond here expecting like a Psychic or something, which would have brought me to my Sash and then allowed me to set up a Spike or something. So I Icy Wind here because it didn't kill. The next Earthquake wouldn't kill. So I lowered the speed. My thought process was to lower the speed of the Latias and Destiny Bond the next turn. Here though, switches out into Shiftery. I believe doubles out again as I Toxic again onto Vaporeon. That's good. Again, I should have spiked here because my opponent had no reason. Well, I guess Taunt is fine in this position, but this is also from the perspective of me knowing his full moveset from the end of the battle, so it's kind of like, it's hard to act like I don't now, if that makes sense, which is the kind of the bad side of a post-con, but, you know, that's what you get. So, Taunt the Latias, which is okay, but not optimal. So I switch out here into Audino, not wanting to take a hit. Psyshock would have definitely killed me. I calced it and it did like 80%. So it does 33 here. I'll take this opportunity to knock off, I believe. Yeah, knock off the Crabominable's Assault Vest. Yeah, confirm that. But I set up a Reflect here, expecting either EQ or something of that nature. I didn't really expect a fighting type move considering my original response to Quillfish. And switches out into Sylveon as I wish. And I take this opportunity to go out into Quillfish and get it healed back up. But Sylveon ends up being the Heal Beller, so that's why I made mention of the Vaporeon earlier. So I Taunt here. Shadow Balls does a good amount of damage, so I Toxic just because here I should have spiked again or just Scalded or something, but I Destiny Bond expecting to kill me. And then Vaporeon Scald does 18%, which I didn't calc, but makes sense. I mean, it sounds like it would do 18% because Quillfish doesn't have the best SPDEF. And I wasn't SPDEF invested. So, I could have got out of this situation with 3 layers of spikes, which would have made a huge difference in this battle. At this point, I almost decided to just go for it with Heatran, but then I was like, nah, there's no way my opponent will just let me set up here. But he did, just Scald, so I knew the next time that I could just set up a Sunny Day. Here, I shouldn't have stayed in. I should have went out into Diancie, or I should have wished the first turn. Wait a minute. That's not exact. What was I thinking earlier? Before I recorded this, I thought of something I would have rather done here. Maybe it was just wish initially. Probably so. But either way, knockoff was not the best play. He had no reason not to go into Carbonable. And here, I should have just switched into Diancie. It would have been just the best play all around. Especially looking back on it. I mean, it's easier to say that now that the battle's over. But I decided to call Mind up here, try to do some damage. Vaporeon wishes up and is faster than me, which it is naturally, but I didn't know. I think I was running a little bit of speed, but roars me out, which is kind of important because my main win con now is a weakness policy Heatran, which relies on being in the game and not getting roared. So it's just really not looking good at this point, and I'm on the path to getting 6-0'd. So it's kind of looking like how many kills can I get before I lose. It's really not looking good. I have a path to victory, but it's not very seeable at this point. It will be in a few moments, but not now. So, Scald. So, this is where Flame Charge would have helped me. So, obviously, I brought, not Flame Charge, I brought Earth Power over Flame Charge for the Colossal that I mentioned earlier. But I had so I didn't mention this in the team builder, but Quillfish, I literally brought 4 Colossal. The exact set. Now, this Focus Sash was not the optimal item. I actually did mean to change that, but I didn't remember it right before the battle. There was like 1 or 2 things that I thought of through the week that I should have changed, but I didn't remember all of them, and the item on Quillfish was another one, because Black Sludge would have helped me significantly during this battle. But, so yeah, so back to my point. Earth Power was not the right move, and that was one of the other things I forgot to change. Because here I could have Flame Charged. I probably wouldn't have Flame Charged on the Vaporeon, but as you'll see here, my opponent switches into Shiftry as I Solar Beam, which gets down to 3%. Here I would have clicked Flame Charge. I don't know if he was, what do they call it, Chlorophyll or not, and I'm pretty sure I probably would have died to that Focus Blast, but just go watch my IPL match too if you want to know about hacks and RNG. So I could have Flame Charged here and been at +1 speed and outsped his entire team, which would have been really clutch. See, Earthquake didn't even kill me from there, and then Flash Cannon takes it down to 4%, but I would have been faster, see, and I could have killed. So it's just, Flame Charge would have helped me significantly, and then it would have been 4-4. So yeah, it just would have been a lot better. I just decided to get up late game rocks because my opponent seems to like to switch a lot. I reveal Psyshock just to test some damage. Scalds me and burns me, which is unfortunate, but I'm not going to complain. My opponent could have 6-0'd me easily if he hit a Focus Blast. So this kind of gets a little back and forth stally, wish and passing and things like that. So I just decided to call mine right here. It kind of just seemed like the best play. I could get more damage off with Psyshock and Moonblast, and I Psyshock the Sylveon because I know it's a Calm Mind variant, and it's just way more especially bulky. I get a crit here, which does put him in the range of another Psyshock, I think, but he KOs me because he's faster, which is fine. Like I said, it's really not looking good. I go into Delmons here, and I am faster actually, and take it out with an Anchor Shot. I'm not sure, but I thought, let's see, Delmons. Okay, Delmons did have some speed investment. I'm sorry. I was going to say I thought they were at the same speed, but they are definitely not. So, here, this is actually the matchup I want, because I have my eject button. That's it, to eject button me out if he starts to pop off with Outrage or Dragon Dances and Coils and things like that. So what I do here is I Anchor Shot, I think. No, I switcheroo. Okay, so I didn't talk about that move in the team builder for this reason, because I thought it'd get a cool reaction. Comment down below if you thought switcheroo was cool tech. So my idea here, oh shoot, I'm sorry. My idea here was, since I was already far in the back and I expected my opponent to be some form of setup, I could switcheroo the eject button and just make contact with it, and the threat would be neutralized for the moment being. So that's why I went with that. And now I think I anchor shot. Yeah, because I was wanting to try to lock him in, but that doesn't make sense because I just switcherooed him the eject button. But either way, I power whip and it actually breaks the sub after the anchor shot. And I rapid spin here for a reason. So I thought I might be faster than Zygarde after a +1, and I thought maybe power whip would break the sub here. So that's why I rapid spin, so I could just get faster and then break the sub. That was my idea there. But he Dragon Tails me out, which is actually pretty cool on a coil set. And Sigilyph comes out, breaks the sub with Ice Beam, all good. 1,000 Arrows does 89% at +2, which kind of honestly throws me back to week 1 and tells me that that crit mattered. So kind of aggravated me in the moment, but I didn't get too worried about it because you can't do anything about it now. But and you don't know EV spreads either. But okay, this massive misplay probably cost me the game. I might have had a chance to win, like very good chance to win. So I did not have Energy Ball, but I did have Psychic, and the way I thought was I just need to KO the Zygarde. That was my main thought process, but I didn't remember the eject button. So what would have happened was I was faster than the Zygarde. I Psychic the Zygarde, and it switches out on its own. But he switched out into Vaporeon, takes the Ice Beam, takes 12%. If I would have Psychic, the same result would have happened, but Vaporeon would have been, well, it could have been a different mon with the eject button. I think the eject button pulls a mon, or I think you get to pick the mon, but he probably would have went into Vaporeon. But if I would have just clicked Psychic, it would have been at lower HP, which matters because my opponent was at 72% before the Ice Beam. And look how much Psychic does right here, because I Psychic 36. 36 plus 36 equals 72. So I know leftovers would have kept me from KOing and Wish Protect and things like that, but it's frustrating to know that it might have been a roll. You know, I don't know. I could have got a high roll. I mean, it's frustrating to think that I had a better play and I didn't make it. So I Psychic as he Wish Protects several turns in a row. See, there was a 38 roll. I know that wasn't KO'd, but I just decided to go into Delmons here on the one time he Scalds and burns me, which seals the game. After looking at it, there's a good chance that I could have still won the game because Latias dies on entrance to rocks. Crabominable slower, and Zygarde still has the eject button, so I could have won. Yeah, that's sad. But I misprepped and misplayed up to this point. So see, my opponent didn't even remember the eject button either. And as you can, if you didn't catch that, the Zygarde ended up at 22%. Would come in on rocks, would have been at 16. Power Whip did 16, even burned. So I still had a chance to win. But the burn damage is what's, well, I guess burn damage plus my power output on other mons is really what killed me. Here I'm just going to anchor shot. Really just kind of bitter at this point. That's 39%, which impressed me that Crabominable was that bulky. That's about the only thing I got out of that. And I Psychic the Crabominable because I had no reason not to. And the Vaporeon comes in and I think just scalds me. See, that was a 40 roll. I could have got it. So yeah, it just kills me. But that's fine. El Geno's doing great in their first ever draft. I think, no, it's not their first ever. I think they said it was like their second or third. So, good game to you, and hopefully you have good success because I think you're already locked into the knockout rounds. But I still have 3 more battles myself. I'm 1-2 right now, and I can get up to 4-2, which I'm pretty sure would lock me in as well. But we'll just have to see. I'll have to play them out. You know, you never can't go back. I'm telling you, go back and watch that IPL match too. Anything can happen in Pokemon. But yeah, really, if you did enjoy this or have enjoyed any of my other content, really just consider clicking the subscribe button and or commenting or liking or any of it, just to help me out. I really would mean a lot to me. But if you can't, if you don't want to, I'm not gonna hate you. But anyway, I won't spiral on today. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's it. Peace.